Hello and welcome back to my channel, Sunkissed Gypsy. So the original video I did was the intro to installing dreads, what my hair looked like before they came in, different tips that I had learned to be aware of and things that I will need, and now they are installed. And let me tell you, I love them. Absolutely love them. I wasn't sure originally if I should do single-ended or double-ended, the count that I would need, the layout that I would need. So it has been a process over the last month to try and figure out how exactly I want them to be, because they're not going anywhere other than real ones, which will be the next video because those are on their way. But yeah, so all in all, what I ended up with was I bought single-ended. Let's start there. Because I figured I could combine the two ends to make it a double-ended, depending on how the initial install of single-ended looked, which I did like, but for maintenance purposes and sectioning, I thought I would end up with too many individuals. So I figured I could do bigger sections with the double-ended and still have the volume. So originally, and I did not take photos or anything, my bad, but I had probably about 80 single-ended these dreads, because these have been reused over the last, I'm gonna call it, it's been 6 weeks now that they're in. You can tell by how they've grown out. So that was the initial, loved them. But again, maintaining them myself, upkeep of 50 versus upkeep of 80, I thought it would be easier and less time consuming for the double-ended, bigger brick layer. So my daughter and I took a day and basically uninstalled, combined the single ends, and then reinstalled. So that is what you see up here. That is two single ends put together as a double. You can see them, yeah. So here's one on its own, and there's the one that did the wrap. So again, it's been about 6 weeks. Love them. Wash them every week. I've seen some videos. Some people go 2 weeks. I can't quite do that. So I pretty much designated my Sunday mornings to a wash so that it has the rest of the day to dry fully. And otherwise, maintenance-wise, been really easy. Like I said, the most involved is the wash day, because I wring them out, get as much water as I can out, and then I had gotten a second microfiber towel and sewn them together so it literally just drapes over the head and covers the ends, so that I can wrap it in it, tie it up kind of thing, and smush it. So that's been working out very, very well. Maintenance-wise, otherwise, just some refresh spray and a little bit of oil that I showed in my previous video. So there's not much itch. Because they are synthetic dreads, they're not the softest things in the world. But I have to say, they look pretty good. You know, the upkeep, there's not a lot of, what do you call it? Lint. There we go. There's the word. Not much at all. So a little bit of oil kind of, you know, going through the ends. I will say initially, they were very stiff, obviously. Now, because I was so excited to put them in, I didn't do a detox. Because I figured, you know, as I wash it, they'll loosen up. Any kind of residue will come out. Now, if I were to do it again, I'd probably do it the same way. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own, you know, ways of feeling about it. But I figured after washing, it's all gonna come out anyway, so why do a pre-soak? But that's just me. Let's see what else. Yes, the initial install, very tight. So it was not, I'm gonna say comfortable, but it really only lasted about 2 or 3 days. The weight took a little bit of getting used to, and that first shower was rough on my neck because they are heavy wet. But as soon as you get the majority of that water out, they're pretty much manageable, and it's just a wait till they dry kind of thing. Obviously, I've added some accessories, got them from Michael's, have some from Amazon coming for my new dreads. Very, very exciting. But as far as these synthetic ones go, like I said, I went originally synthetic one to see if I even liked it. I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of money on something that I might not like. I absolutely love them. They're not going anywhere. So my husband can get used to that because it's my new look. What else? So yeah, first couple days, a little tender on the scalp, obviously. And the air coming to the scalp. Whereas if you have obviously no dreads, all your hair down, your scalp's protected. With your little brick layer blocks and your dreads, there's a whole lot of open scalp, I'm gonna say. It's cold, 10 degrees, that was not fun, but that's what hoods are for. So that worked out. And what else? Let me think. Yeah, I'd have to say that's pretty much it. Just the open scalp, little bit of tension, I'm gonna call it, with the first fresh install, and some itch. Again, the synthetic dreads, not the softest things. When you're laying on them, you feel it, but it's something you get used to. And then also dry scalp, but that's what the oil and the refresh spray is for, and that soothed it immediately. I mean, within minutes, you put the spray on, it feels nice and cold, and then the itch is gone. So great products, definitely needed if you're coming into dreads from scratch. Now, what I've been doing lately, yesterday, my daughter has been helping me because I have ordered human hair on, I don't know what the word is, but it's basically a thread of them that have the clips in so you can kind of like clip and install. And I also ordered some tape ins, mostly because the color difference, I want to blend them. So I will be making my own dreads out of human hair for extensions. Now, as you can see, my hair is, find one, where are you? So wrapped around the synthetic, the light doesn't help. There's the frizz, that's real too. Wrapped up comes about, call it my ear, and natural hair length is here. But we wrapped them pretty tight so that there'd be a good grip on it and I wouldn't have to deal with fallouts and putting them back in and all that. So with the real dreads, obviously, I will be dreading my natural hair, dreading the human hair pieces, and then attaching them together. Again, major props to all the videos and all the channels out there because there's a wealth of knowledge and it's so appreciated when you don't have a clue what you're doing and trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what the best way for you is going to be, what's more convenient for you, the upkeep. There's so many different levels of what you need to know when you come into dreads that I'm just beyond grateful for the channels that I have found and obviously left comments on, support them as well. It's a big deal, you know, to have the answers when you're just kind of in a circle of, do I do this? Do I do that? How's that gonna look? How do you do this kind of thing? So again, huge thanks to all of them. But we have started the process. Yesterday, my daughter and I, we started from the bottom, because what I wanted to do after all this regrowth was clean up my bricks, change them back to single. That's why all these are individually. You can see my hair wrapped on them. And basically prep the scalp, so to speak, for the install of the human hair extensions. So we've gone through, you can see, hold on, let me get up under here, see if I can make a clean line. I'll just show you a couple on the bottom. It's a lot of hair. See, I'm going to turn around, see if you can see. So it's nice, it's clean. They're a little small, but I'm not going to have thick dreads. I've decided I want to go on the skinnier side, so it would be fuller. And again, they'll be singles. They won't be double-ended. And then I have some of my natural hair out where we left off last night. It's in there. It's a mess. But I'll be finishing up the top today, cleaning up those sections, and like I said, getting them prepped for the transition of dreads, I guess. Color's going to be about the same. That kind of ombre, dirty blonde with some platinum pieces. So I'll play. I'll probably make some dreads that are all platinum. I'll make some that are more like ombre. Maybe I'll make some that are just dark. I haven't quite decided, but I want to stay on the lighter side just because that's the look I like. So just play in here so you can see some of these kinked up. A little bit of oil cleans them up, but not for nothing. It's been almost 2 months. Call that 8 washes. I think they look pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. So I'm excited. I appreciate you watching. And the next video will be actually of me making the synthetic dreads in preparation for install. Because, like I said, we're cleaning this up, turning them into singles. So I'm going to call it the next month to make the dreads. Right now we have 55, probably about 2/3 of the head, because I really only have the top section left to transition. You can see they come up to here, the newbies. So all in all, I think I'll end up with 80, 85. And that's it. If you have any questions, any comments, definitely leave them below. I'll answer them. But hands down, I do not regret investing in the synthetic dreads off Amazon to try. I mean, in total, I think it was $45. Not a loss at all. And next, I will be trying to figure out how they do with the ocean. Yeah, that'll be fun. Not so much worried about the sand. I'm worried about the salt. But just as you do coming home from the beach, you wash. So shouldn't be that big of a problem. The other thing I will say that I noticed is the single-ended dreads are not as heavy, obviously, as the double-ended, because 2 versus 1. I found that very interesting because with the single-ended dreads that are underneath, they're much smaller squares. I mean, you could probably fit a dime in it, at best. Whereas with the double-ended dreads, we've been doing 1-inch squares. So figure a nickel, not quite a quarter big, but definitely could fit, I'd say, a nickel in it, just to support the weight of the double-ended. And it's been interesting because I would expect the higher volume of singles to be heavier than the lesser volume of double. Because the double-ended, we put 50 in, which dual count makes the 100. The single-ended ones, like I said, we came up to about where I showed you here, and so far those are 55 in. So by the end of the day, when all is said and done, I do expect to be right around 80, considering what's left of the head. So I found that very interesting, that the single ones, even though you have more of them, are not as heavy as the doubles. And if anybody's wondering, my hair is very thin, so fine, but I have a lot of it, which makes things complicated. But people with curly hair have complications of, oh, there's a little piece of lint, I think. Yep, there we go. So, little lint fuzzes. Haha, gone. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. We put some wraps on. I'm a little sad that I can't transfer these to the real hair ones, but you just do it again, I guess. And if anybody's wondering, when we do take these out, I will absolutely keep them, because you never know. My daughter might want some. I don't know. But through this video out there, kind of taking a minute to show you the install, and they're full. I love them. They're so fun. There's a green one. Haha. All right. Well, can't help but play with them. They're so great. And tying them up, pretty easy. You think, oh, they're in the way. Not so much. Let's see. Usually I just take a couple, cross them over, like that. That's the typical, get out of my face. I'm making coffee. I'm brushing my teeth. I need to vacuum, whatever the, to-do list is. So there's the second one. And then just showing you from the back. A little messy maybe, but it's still cute. Served its purpose. And then another thing I have been doing lately, actually, because the weather is starting to change. Oh, that's not it. I have a bandana. So this is going to be funny. Here we go. I will show you how I do a ponytail. Yeah, there's the flip. Here it comes. A little bit of a shake. And then I just gather it around. And then flip back. Whew. There it is. And obviously this was a real quick. I'll just do like this. There we go. Tuck that underneath. Yeah, it's not very clean. But for a 2-second flip over, when you just reach a temperature level of hot and you need them off your back, and there it is. So, yeah. Quick, easy, fun, and your hair is always done. Like always done. Wake up. So pretty. Let's see. I haven't noticed anything different with the weather. Obviously if it's cold, your scalp gets cold, put a hat on, put a hood on. But even with it warming up, I haven't noticed like them being uncomfortable in any way. It's just like any other hairstyle, you get used to it, and you have your little tips and tricks of what works for you. So that's it for now. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe. If you find any of this helpful, support the channel. That would be much appreciated. Leave comments if there's anything that you'd like to know, questions you might have, or questions you might like from me. Yeah. All right then. Yeah. You know, what I think of this or what I prefer or, yeah, anything. Thanks again. Great to see you back. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye, lovelies.